Hi everyone, I'm putting together this video to show you what your presentation should be like in Journalism 1. So I will speak and you will see my slides, and hopefully this will provide a good model for what I expect during your presentations. And I'm recording this right now during our coronavirus vacation, if you want to call it that, from school. And this may be the model for how we interact and how I deliver you information and how you deliver me information if this break extends beyond our planned spring break. So without further ado, let's get started. Today I'm going to tell you about an important Supreme Court decision that really led to a recognition of an important right for students. And the case was West Virginia State Board of Education versus Barnette. Interesting piece of trivia, the last name of the people involved in the case was Barnette, Barnett, but there was a clerk at the Supreme Court who one day just added an E to their name for no reason, and so now in the history books it is misspelled. But later on in the presentation you'll see that their name is spelled correctly, Barnett. So, Jehovah's Witnesses in the United States, they're a religious group, they're Christians, a small group of Christians, relatively speaking, who refuse to salute the flag. In 1942, the state laws of West Virginia required students to salute the flag, and if they didn't, they could get kicked out of school, believe it or not. Now, there were a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses, Marie and Gathy Barnette, who told their children, "You're not to salute the flag at school." Part of the reason that Jehovah's Witnesses refuse to salute the flag is because of this verse from the Old Testament, Exodus 20, verses 4 and 5. The Jehovah's Witnesses interpreted it to say that they were not allowed to respect the flag or salute the flag. They shall not bow down to or worship any image. And they interpreted that as do not salute the flag. Also at the time, public school students and other people were giving what was called the Bellamy salute to the flag, which was extremely similar to the Nazi Sieg Heil salute. As you can see on the left, there are students, what looks like elementary school students, saluting the flag with this Bellamy salute. And on the right, you see what appears to be American sailors saluting the flag, also with the Bellamy salute. Technically, the Bellamy salute is supposed to be with your arm out and your palm up, not palm down. But I'm pretty sure that in that left-hand image with the school children, they are saluting with the palms down. So there was another reason that the Barrett family felt uncomfortable allowing their children to salute the flag, because Jehovah's Witnesses were severely persecuted in Nazi Germany. You also need to know that in 1940, there was already a Supreme Court case that said Jehovah's Witnesses can be compelled to salute the flag and forced to participate in other patriotic rituals. That was Minersville School District versus Gobitis. And the Jehovah's Witnesses lost that case. So in 1943, the Barnetts brought their case to the Supreme Court. What happened? The Barnetts won, 6-3. The Gobitis decision was overturned, and public institutions such as schools could no longer force people to participate in various patriotic rituals. This is one of my favorite quotes from the case. "If there is any fixed star in our constitutional constellation, it is that no official, high or petty, can prescribe what shall be the orthodox in politics, nationalism, religion, or other matters of opinion, or force citizens to confess by word or act their faith therein." Another great quote. "Those who begin coercive elimination of dissent soon find themselves exterminating dissenters. Compulsory unification of opinion achieves only the unanimity of the graveyard." In other words, it goes against the American principles of freedom of speech to force people to participate in any kind of speech, whether it's patriotic speech or anything else. Part of our freedom of speech is the freedom to refuse to participate in forms of speech. That's the important part of this case. So yeah, students cannot be forced to participate in the pledge or the anthem. What does that mean? Well, it means that if we have student athletes and a national anthem, that according to the Supreme Court in West Virginia versus Barnette, if students want to refuse to participate in the national anthem, they can. They can also kneel, they can turn their backs, they can do any type of respectful protest that they want to do. Schools cannot compel student athletes to participate in the national anthem. And so we started to see after Colin Kaepernick a lot of high school students around the country kneeling for the national anthem, such as in this photo that I have here. Now, teachers can ask students to remain silent during these patriotic rituals, not because they are demanding respect from the students for the flag, but because the courts have ruled over and over again that teachers and school administrators do have an interest in maintaining order in classrooms and in schools. And so a teacher can ask you to remain quiet during the Pledge of Allegiance. Even if they cannot compel you to participate, they can ask you to be quiet while others participate. And these are my sources. I looked at the original U.S. Supreme Court case, the text of the case, West Virginia State Board of Education versus Barnette. And then I also looked at this encyclopedia about historic U.S. court cases. So that's what your presentation should be like. You will show us the slides. You will give us the information in the slides, but also go into a little bit more depth, right? Just as I do with all of my lectures in class. I have a slideshow for all of my lectures, but the content of the lecture is often more than what's just in the slideshow. And so you should be doing the same things with your presentation. Your slideshow will give us the basics, but you should be prepared to go into a little more depth with anecdotes and details that may not be in your slideshow. Go back and look at the slideshow if you can. I want you to note that each slide contains very little text. The only exceptions were the two slides with the full text of some paragraphs from the Supreme Court cases. But in general, we need to keep the slides brief so that your audience can understand what's on the screen and take notes. All right? If you have any questions, email them to me. Thanks for watching.